Hello friends. I realized I never introduced myself in videos, so hi, I'm Caitlin. Nice to meet you if you haven't been here before, and if you are a regular here, then welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about color and how to put color into your makeup looks if you're not typically a color wearer, how to dip your toes, start to feel it out, see what you think. So yesterday, all the little clips you're gonna see of me demonstrating all the ways that I tell you you can introduce color, I show you. They're from yesterday. I did them one right after the other, so my eyes are real sore. They're probably really red. The makeup probably doesn't look great because I applied it about 4 or 5 times, so bear with me. And then today I did one of the tricks because I'm still gonna show you the clip, but I didn't like how it turned out in the clip, so I did it again just so we can talk about it in reference to my current face instead, but I'll still show you the clip of me doing it so you can kind of see the trials and errors. But without further ado, let's get started. So, when it comes to color, I never used to wear it other than one way. And that is my first tip for you. If you want to start wearing color, start with a bright lower lash line. I can try to insert some pictures of some really extreme or really dramatic and beautiful eye looks, but the one that I'm showing you, which I'll pop up in a second, is just a quick bronzer in the crease or a quick neutral shade, and then I did a green on the lower lash line. So when you do that, it's super easy to just add a pop of color without needing to commit to a full colored look, and it's just a little hint of it underneath your lash line. It's not overwhelming, it's not unprofessional, it's a really good way to kind of start in the realm of color. You can use a matte shade or a shimmer shade down there, it doesn't really matter. And you can also use a colored eyeliner. So this is the only true color I have other than this metallic one, which is a copper, which is really cool. So this is a purple and this is a copper. This is also a good way to add color in your lower lash line, to put it on your waterline and then blend it out with a neutral shade. The other company that makes a ton of these is ColourPop. I only have the nude, as you can see by the tip, but the color I used to have and I loved was Prance, I believe. It's a bright blue. Oh, God. But their liners are super inexpensive. ColourPop is a great place to go in general for color because they have everything under the sun for a pretty inexpensive price, but that's also a good way to do it. So in the demonstration, I show you my quick blending into the crease and then how to very quickly put it on the lower lash line. Another thing I want to mention about all these colored looks is when you're doing color, before you put mascara on, you're gonna think you look nuts. Okay, so that's just an FYI to everyone. When you're putting color on, and I show you in the video or in the clip, I have one eye without mascara and one eye with. It's not gonna look good until you put mascara on. Until the look is done, you just need to trust yourself and me and just know that it's gonna look nice at the end. You just have to do it. It can be a little scary when you're in the middle of it and you're looking at your color and you're like, oh no, but I promise you, it's gonna look good. Just put the mascara on. But tip number 2 to add color into your life is what I've done here today, which is a pop of color in just the inner corner. This, I believe, at least in my life, was made popular by Kylie Jenner. She used to do this all the time. I think it was maybe last summer, 2 summers ago. She always had a neon pink in the inner corner and I loved it. And I tried to replicate it once and it didn't go well for me. So in the clip I try to do a matte yellow in the inner corner, but it's not quite bright enough. So I get a little bummed out and I put the shimmer on the other side and that looked really good, but just knowing that I screwed up in the video, I wanted to do it again. So today we did purple and I used a taupey color in the crease just to kind of go with the purple idea. Yesterday in the videos or the clips that you're watching, I used a warm tone because I was putting a yellow in the inner corner, so that was kind of the intention. So today we went with the cooler tones to match the purple and I'm way more happy with this. Let me get close so you can see. So here's my purple in the inner corner. I used 2 different purples. I used a purple from the e.l.f. XJ Kiss-Up palette as well as a ColourPop single shadow, which I'll also discuss products and things to use to get yourself into color in a minute. So that's another way to do it, just a little pop in the inner corner. That's not necessarily something that has to go as big as this. It can also be a matte shade, so it's not as vibrant. This is obviously a shimmer, so it catches a lot of light and you can notice it a lot. The other way that you can do an inner corner is to actually connect it to the lower lash line. And I can try to show you a couple examples of that too. So you take your inner corner color and you also bring it all the way down the lower lash line, and it just kind of makes it really cohesive and beautiful. And maybe that'll make the inner corner seem a little less scary. Just a thought. So then the next option I have when it comes to color is the wash of color. So that's one way to do color in a subtle way that people won't necessarily pick up on, and this is how I used to wear it to work a lot. I actually took a blue shade. I'll show you. Actually, I have it right here. I had this dress that was this really pretty floral blue and yellow, and every time I wore it, I just wanted to do something cute on my eyes. So I always put this blue shade as a wash all over my lids and blended it out into the crease. And it was just super subtle and it would look really pretty. So that's one way to do it. And in the demonstration, I use a combination of a corally and an orange color. Another thing I want to mention when it comes to color is you can take colors that are subtle, and that will really slowly bring you into it. When I'm saying that, I also mean like pinks and oranges are colors, and reds really, are so common in makeup in general because of warm toned shades that if you want to try color, doing pink, orange, and red are really, really safe colors to try, because most palettes already have those colors in them. Because that's a really popular color scheme right now in makeup, is to do the warm tones. I have a palette here, and I'll show you in a minute, that is just strictly warm tones, but it has so many bright pinks and reds in it, and so without knowing it, you can really kind of add these colors to your eye and make yourself look like you're using more color, but not so much that people are gonna be like, whoa, blue eyeshadow? Which I do anyways. I actually had somebody call me out in Shaw's the other day because I was wearing my blue and pink eyeshadow for my sister's gender reveal that I did on my Instagram stories, so follow me there if you want to watch me do makeup just casually with music. But I did a look on there with a blue and pink eyeshadow, and someone stopped me in Shaw's like, I love your outfit, because I was wearing like overall dress, and she goes, you got some cool eyeshadow on, you going to a rave? No. She's like, I don't normally see people in like cute outfits with like rave eyeshadow on, and obviously I have a mask on, so like all you can see is my eyes. Whatever. Take it with a grain of salt. Anyways, so the wash of color is really good because it just kind of blends the color softly all over your eye. In the clip, I take a fluffy brush and I do that all over my eye first, and then I take a more of a packing brush and put it on the lid just because I wasn't getting the color payoff I wanted on my actual lid. If you're fine with the way that a fluffy brush applies the color to give it an even more soft look, then don't apply the color on your lid with the packing brush, because that's going to make it more pigmented. No matter where you're putting color, if you use a big fluffy blending brush like this guy, or this guy, or even something like this, which is a little bit skinnier when you turn it, those are going to deposit, I'm trying to find my other brushes over here, those are going to deposit a lot less color than, say, a pencil brush would, like this one, ignore that one, or this one, because they're more dense, they're more packed, and so they're going to get more of the product on the brush and pack it on, whereas these are so fluffy that when you go to blend a color out, it's just gonna very softly buff it in there because the density of the brush is not that much compared to a pencil brush like this. So the wash of color is a really good option as well. Like I said, you can use colors that are a little bit more fun but not quite bright and crazy, so that way you can kind of get yourself used to it. And I also show you in all these looks, which you're seeing in these clips, how fast it can be. I'm just throwing one color in the crease and then a pop of color, or I'm throwing two brighter colors all over my eye and done with it. Like, that's how quick and easy you can make this. So then my next tip is going to be the shimmer shade on the lid. So once you kind of get used to color, you're kind of okay with it, you get a little bit more excited about it, you can really do a full eye look of neutrals and just put a color all over your lid. In the clip, I'm using a darker purple. I'm actually using this palette. I'll show you when I'm ready, or when I'm done talking about the ways to do it, because this palette has so many color options, it's great. So this purple that I used looks more like brownie, and then when the light shines on it, it's purple. So it is a really good use of color in that way, because I put it on my lid and you weren't punched in the face by purple eyeshadow like you are today. So that's another way to really do purple, or even colors in general, like I said, in a more muted, desaturated way. If you're gonna put it all over your lid, if that kind of scares you, try to use something that's not quite as bright and shocking, and use something that's a little bit more muted, desaturated, and is gonna give only a color when it's reflected in the light. Another thing that I love is an all matte eye look, and you can do the same thing with mattes and just put the colored matte on your lid instead of using the shimmer. I love matte looks. I think matte looks are stunningly gorgeous. So if that's your cup of tea like me, that's also a way to do color. And then my last tip for you, which is my last clip yesterday, was doing a winged liner and then stamping a color on top of that wing. So you can do it two ways, and if you want to know how I do my winged liner, I just posted that video last week, so you can go watch it. My winged liner can either go on as a matte black liquid liner or as a shadow liner. In this sense, when you're using a shimmer, you can do the same thing, or a color. I used a shimmer because it's more fun, but you can do the same thing of applying it as a shadow, or you can do your black first and put the color on top of it. The reason I like that method is that your color is going to be more bright, it's going to be more vibrant, and it's going to be more noticeable, whereas your shadow liner is going to be a little bit more subtle, and that might be what you want to start with. And it's also easier to fix if you do mess it up, because I talked about in the winged liner video, eyeliner's really easy to screw up. But so in my clips, I'm starting with a black winged liner. I didn't show you how I applied it since I do have a whole video on it, which you can watch from last week. And then I take the shimmer shade and I wet it with a setting spray. One, because I didn't want fallout all over my face, which I still got a little bit of, and two, it makes it a little bit more vibrant. So I packed that on top of the black wing once it was dry, the liner, and it just made this like gorgeous bright blue popped liner. So once you put mascara on, it's not as noticeable. It's a hint, like you can definitely see it in the right light, but it's not, once again, punching you in the face. So I really like that technique because it's just cool and different. Like you're not expecting to see a bright electric blue winged liner, so it's just interesting. So now I want to talk about products you can purchase that are going to give you that beautiful dip your toe into color vibe. So obviously we've all seen my colorful eyeshadow palettes on this channel. I mean, this e.l.f. XJ Kiss-It palette is everything you would ever want in a color palette. It has mattes, it has deeper mattes, and it has shimmers, but this can be intimidating. There's also palettes like these at Walmart, which are neon and rainbow. They're $5 a piece, so if you do want to get a full rainbow palette. But what I suggest is to get a palette that is full of neutrals with a few pops of color. So the palette I keep pulling shades from in this video is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. It's the only Urban Decay palette I've ever had, but it is one of the coolest eyeshadow palettes. It has all of these neutrals. So this whole top row, completely neutral. These areas down here, still pretty neutral. Then you have your purple, you have your silver, you have your black shimmer, interesting. You have your orange, you have your green, you have your two blues, you have a copper over here, you have a gold, and even this like bright pink shimmer. You have everything in here. So if you want to get one palette that is going to give you your neutrals to kind of blend into your crease or to create a look, and then dip into a color just for a little pop, this is the palette I suggest. This is the palette I used in the clip of the purple shimmer on the lid look, and I used only shades in here and then the purple. So you can see an exact example of how easy it is to get a really nice colorful look with this palette. And then, like I said, ColourPop has colorful palettes, every colorful palette you could imagine. I don't know if they still sell this one. This is Dream Street with Kathleen Lights. This is gorgeous because it has so many wonderful neutrals, but then you have your two blues and this like one really bright coral shade. And this palette is one that I used in a video and I think is a really good option too. This is the blue I used in the winged liner, but this palette has all neutrals and then your one crazy blue color. And this color right here, it's like a pink shimmer. This would be a nice safe introduction to color, but it's definitely not your standard shimmer shade, so it's also a good option. And then single shadows. So you can get like single eyeshadow toppers. This is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. They have all sorts of colors, wonderful formula. It's more of a cream, so it's super vibrant and you're never gonna have to worry about fallout, which is wonderful. Or you can get an eyeshadow topper that's colorful. This is the e.l.f. XJ Kissa Suki to My Heart eyeshadow duo, and this green could be super cool, and I still want to use it on this channel. So a liquid shadow, a cream shadow, or a single shadow. So these are also ColourPop single shadows. And so you just buy one shadow. This is the color that I have in my inner corner. It's called Fault Line. It's like a purple with a blue shift. It's gorgeous. If I can get you, yeah, you can see it there. And then I also use these shades in the Wash Up Color Look Yesterday, which are Bratty and Making Moves. But the reason single shadows are so cool is they're pretty inexpensive and you're not committing to a full palette. So I think these are $5 each, and you can get super interesting shades like this one over here, which is this Snake Eyes? Nope, Play by Play. Snake Eyes must be this one. Tea Garden, I don't know what I'm talking about. But so like these two shades right here are more duochrome, where you look one way and it looks neutral, and then when it hits the light, you get your duochrome color, and that's another really good way to get color on your eyes in a really subtle way if you're just starting, because you're not committing to a bright green or a bright purple or a bright orange. You're committing to a neutral shade with a hint of a color when you turn your head the right way. Duochromes are really interesting to look at too. So if you want a really cool look, I'd look into some duochrome colors, because you get the color, you get the neutral, and you also get a lot of visual interest in there too. And then the last set of palettes, which is what I mentioned before, is a palette that has color in it, but in a subtle way. So you're looking at palettes that are mainly neutral with like undertones of color. So one that I have here is the other, also a Profusion palette, which is $5 from Walmart. It's called the Mauves palette, where you're getting neutrals, but you're getting undertones of red and purple. So you're gonna get a little bit of color in there without even intending to. Like this color right here could be really cool as a pop of color. Mauves isn't your standard browns, so you're gonna look like you're using a little bit more color without actually diving headfirst into bright colors. And then a very similar palette, which is super expensive and very well loved by me, is the, you can tell, it's how dirty this thing is. This is the Anastasia in Beverly Hills, I don't know how you're supposed to actually say her name, Modern Renaissance palette. I have two shades that are essentially gone, another one that's about to be gone, and you can tell I love this palette. But so this is what I'm talking about with the bright colors mixed in. So you have your really simple, warm, matte shades, but then you have a bright red, you have two bright pinks, you have a bright orange. Like you're getting into the realm of color without really committing to a bright blue shadow. And when you pair them all together, this doesn't look like a colorful palette. You can also mix these colors. So if I were to take this pink and mix it in with that brown, I'm not gonna get a crazy bright pink color. I'm gonna get a brown pink where it kind of desaturates it. It, you know, brings some of the brightness and the pop out of it and just kind of neutralizes it a little bit. So you can start to introduce it into your crease. And my last tip for you, in the way that I actually got into makeup in general, is pops of color on your lips. So I love bright, colorful lipsticks. I really do. A bright pink, a bright red, just give it to me. The thing is, if you're gonna do crazy color on your eyes, I would stick to a nude on your lips, just so you're not kind of going crazy, unless that's what you want to do. Do what you want to do. I don't care. But if you're gonna have a purple inner corner, I'm not gonna put a bright pink on my lips. I'm just gonna look a little nuts. So I would recommend a nude or a subtle blush in a nude lipstick, or do a brighter blush that corresponds with your bright pink lipstick in a neutral eye look. In the video, or in the clip that I'm going to show you, putting this color actually on, this is shade 35 Treat Yourself of the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Crayons. I had just put on the black wing that I then covered with blue, but I did it before I covered it with blue so you can see like a traditional wing, nothing else going on the face, and a bright pink lip. It's gorgeous, it's classic. It also works really well with a bright red lip. Also gorgeous, also classic, something you should definitely look into. So if you want to start with color, I'd start there. I have all sorts of different things here that are colorful. So these are the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Inks that I was talking about. They stay a really long time. That's also a tip. If you're gonna get a bright, vibrant color on your lips, try to do it in a matte formula that's gonna stay longer. Because one, you don't have to worry about it running all over your face. Two, you don't have to worry about it getting on your teeth. And three, you don't have to worry about touching it up all day, because the more you layer products on your lips, the worse they're gonna look. So like a gloss can run, and it also isn't gonna stay very long. So if you're gonna do a bright color, I'd say stay to matte. And these will stay all day, and you literally will have to struggle to get them off 12 hours later. I also have the crayons. So I have the Super Stay Maybelline one that I talked about. I also have the NYX Lingerie Push Up. This is like a deep red color, which is pretty interesting. It's vibrant, but also like for fall and winter, it's really pretty. Let me make sure it's down. And then ColourPop is also a company that has inexpensive liquid lipsticks and also just bright lipsticks that you can purchase. I believe they're like $5 to $6 a piece. This is a Reba. It is a matte lip with I Love Sada E X ColourPop, or Karen in ColourPop. The problem is the matte formula, a lot of these, I think they've discontinued because they've brought out their Luxe lip formula. So I don't know if you can even get this particular color anymore, but just as an FYI, ColourPop is a great place for color. But as for color, that's all I've got for you today. And I'd love to know if you're gonna try a color and you've never really done it before. Send me a link, send me a picture, tag me on Instagram, do whatever. I wanna see you guys try color. Color is so fun, and it just opens the door to so many new things in makeup that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do. And it's fascinating. And it just transforms your face. Oh god, I just love makeup and I love color. So if you're gonna do color, let me know, let me see. Comment any video ideas you have down below. I'm thinking of doing, and I'm probably gonna do it, I started researching yesterday, an evolution of makeup series where I start in ancient times and work my way up to modern day era and how makeup has evolved and transformed, and just giving you some really cool historical information about makeup and cosmetics and when like big companies like Maybelline and L'Oreal and Revlon really came to be. And I'm super excited about it. So if you have any other ideas for videos, like maybe in between some evolution of makeup videos, if you want to see some how-tos or colorful looks, put them in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe if you want to see more of my face, because it's not too shabby once in a while. And go follow me on Instagram at CaitlinJolene_makeup. The thing that I'm doing once a week where I do my makeup on Instagram stories, I think is super fun. I loved it. I did a colorful look, and I'm actually gonna have people vote today and tomorrow on what they want me to use in that video on Instagram. So if you want to watch me put makeup on there and also be able to put your voice in and vote for what you want, I'd go over there and follow me. It'll be in my stories, but I'm gonna go edit this video because I have until 4 o'clock to put it up, and it's 9:30, so I gotta hurry. So I love you all. Thank you so much, and have fun. Bye. Mwah.